Hello, I'm Isabella, Ceja, and I'm going to discuss the importance of trust in the medical field. So let me describe a situation I think we've all been in before. You schedule an appointment with your primary care physician, and now it's the day of your appointment. And your doctor begins questioning you about maybe some symptoms you've been experiencing for a while now, or pain that you've been recently experiencing. Instead of opening up and describing all of your symptoms completely, you hold back. And whether this is because you fear judgment from your doctor or disinterest, you still do it. You do not completely trust your doctor. And in all of our relationships in life, we need to have trust, whether that's with our family, with our friends, and we especially need to have that with our doctors and other medical professionals. So trust is essential to healthcare because building a trusting relationship allows for a better understanding of the patient and also improve treatment and care overall for that patient. So throughout this program, I had the opportunity to observe many patient-doctor appointments, and there was one in particular that stood out to me. So it was the first time that this doctor had seen this patient, and she was a young woman who had been experiencing chronic abdominal pain. And she had never received a formal diagnosis before of her pain, and she would experience periods of several months where she could not complete daily activities because her pain had gotten so bad. And immediately the doctor created a trusting and compassionate environment in that appointment room, which allowed the patient to open up and talk more about some of the social factors that she was experiencing. She was a stressed out college student, which was contributing to her stomach pain, as well as some of her nausea and vomiting as well. And because the doctor allowed the patient to trust her, she was able to learn more about the patient and as well as some of the other factors that would contribute to a specific condition. And because of that trust that was formed, the doctor was able to prescribe certain tests, medication, as well as a follow-up appointment with that patient. And then the opposite, I've also observed a patient-doctor appointment where the patient did not trust their doctor. The patient was a smoker for about 30 years now, and he had an addiction to cigarettes. As the doctor was explaining the consequences of smoking, he was at risk for lung cancer and he was having decreased respiratory function. The patient did not listen to their doctor. He was convinced that the doctor was incorrect and overall did not trust the knowledge and experience that the doctor had with smoking. And because of that, the patient was going to leave the appointment and continue smoking and further the consequences that they were already beginning to see. So, in my own experience, I was once a patient with a doctor, and about 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. And later that year, I was told I needed to have spinal fusion surgery. I was about 12 or 13 years old then, and for me, that was so scary because spinal fusion is a major surgery, and I was not looking forward to any of the pain or recovery process that would follow the surgery. And immediately my doctor took extra time to explain the processes to me. He took extra time to make sure that I knew what was going on, and he also made sure to check up on me throughout my surgery and my stay at the hospital. And the trust that I began to develop with him was so important to my success because I felt that I was important to him. So as my doctor and I relationship continued throughout my consistent appointments and checkups back after my surgery on my spine, I realized that because of the trust that we had with each other, me and the fact that I trusted his abilities as a surgeon and him trusting that I would take his advice and listen to the recommendations he had for me, I was successful, and I was a successful patient case, which looked good for the doctor. And also, I'm still standing here with rods in my spine, so I think that's pretty cool. And that honestly showed me how trust is so important in all of our relationships, but especially in the medical field because patients have to trust their lives with doctors. They have to trust that they're going to do absolutely the most for them, and that's very important. So overall, trust is essential to the healthcare system. Trust is what helps people have more successful outcomes because they're able to share more and open up more about the problems and pain that they're experiencing. Medical conditions can be embarrassing at times. You don't want to talk about that strange rash you have on you, right? But when you have a doctor who understands you and listens to you, that's when you can find the help that you really need to improve your health and continue a healthy life. I think that we all can benefit from increased trust with everyone around us. Thank you.